Hi, it's Mark Orwell for Highbrow Magazine, and I've got a movie review for you. Benoit Blanc, the world's greatest detective, returns with buku charm and Cajun curiosity in the third Knives Out whodunit, Wake Up Dead Man. Like its predecessors, Dead Man is a delightful ensemble cast of familiar faces who seem to be having so much fun romping through the atmospheric sets that we can't help but smile from opening shot to closing credits. Call it a cozy mystery, an Agatha Christie ripoff, or what you will. It's not unlike Murder on the Orient Express from 1974, Murder by Death in 1976, and Clue in 1985. What sets the Knives Out series apart is the character of Benoit Blanc, played by Daniel Craig, a Southern private detective with a love of musical theater, a penchant for natty three-piece suits, and an accent you could cut with a tobacco axe. This time around, Blanc has grown his hair past his collar to resemble a Byronic hero with a spiky stubble of gray whiskers. But he's still the same determined, if at times self-doubting, detective you'd want on your team. Director Rian Johnson, who directed and wrote the first two installments, as well as Star Wars: The Last Jedi, keeps Blanc in the wings for the film's first 40 minutes as the plot begins to thicken. Boxer priest Judd Duplessis, played by Josh O'Connor, has been shunted off to remote Chimney Rock in upstate New York after clocking an obnoxious fellow priest at the Albany Diocese Pastoral Center. Glenn Close, as Martha, chews enough scenery to feed a small African village, and she is a thrill to watch. Over the top, for sure. But is there anything in the Knives Out films that isn't? You buy into that, or not, from the beginning. Murder in the Cathedral, Parish Church, brings out Police Chief Geraldine Scott, a de-glamorized Mila Kunis, who is less than credible as the head cop. Realizing she's in over her head, the chief quickly calls in Benoit Blanc, and the fun begins in high gear. Blanc accepts the assignment to investigate the mystery, even though, long ago, he shed his religious beliefs and became an atheist. "I kneel at the altar of the rational," he explains at one point. The killing, a seemingly impossible crime, is what Agatha Christie fans call a locked door mystery. But Blanc is unfazed. "It's just a murder," he says, "and I solve murders." Despite his self-assurance, Blanc begins to have doubts that he can clear up this particular homicide. Daniel Craig plays that self-doubt low-key, enough to be believable. Blanc is a capable detective, but not infallible. Many fine actors fill secondary roles and are more than equal to the task. Jeremy Renner as the town's alcoholic doctor. Andrew Scott as the writer looking for the closing chapter of his next big book, 782,000 words so far. Kerry Washington as an aggrieved lawyer, and an always capable Thomas Hayden Church as the church's groundskeeper, and an observer who notices everything that goes on in the small community. Much has been made in the movie's publicity about the actors being hired for their roles mere weeks before principal photography began. Hype? Who knows? The idea being that the players wouldn't over-rehearse or fret too much about their character's motivation or get called away to a more prestigious film with a conflicting schedule. Whatever the truth is behind that scenario, it worked. The cast plays it loose and easy, staying on script without fear of their character seeming clueless, ugly, or simply silly. And there is plenty of cluelessness, ugliness, and silliness to go around. One has the sense that writer-director Rian Johnson spent most of his time behind the camera saying something along the lines of, "Let's do it again. But this time, give us even more of everything. Wake Up Dead Man is a comedy, no doubt, but it comes with a handful of frightening moments, a bit of blood here and there, spooky settings, harlot whores, out-of-wedlock children, drinking problems, all the ingredients of a light-hearted laugh fest. But make no mistake, an enormous amount of seasoned acting skill fills the screen, despite the chuckle-filled script. An intriguing point about the plot. Benoit Blanc seems much more concerned about the why of the murder than the who. His intellectual curiosity bends that way. Relationships, feuds, motivation. If you gave Blanc a set of the killer's fingerprints, he'd discreetly toss it into the fireplace. Where's the fun in forensics? No, Blanc wants drama, revelation, and confession. Of the three films, Dead Man is the second best, after the original. But that's no slam, considering that the initial outing was superb in its script, cast, and direction. If Rian Johnson's goal is to create a sequel to surpass the original Knives Out, I will be first in line at the theater box office for the next one. For Highbrow Magazine, I'm Mark Orwell.